one of the things that constantly gets great reactions from a spectator is a cool card reveal. Based on the classic All-Star Slugger comes Soccer Star. Soccer Star is a brilliant carry anywhere card reveal that's sure to blow your audience away. Soccer Star comes complete with custom designed collector's cards and a training drill to get up and running in minutes. It's super easy to do, instantly repeatable, and it can come with a different outcome. I'm Harry Nardi, and this is 8 Gala Soccer Stars.
Hello and welcome to this Alakazam Live. It's Tuesday, it's 2 PM-ish. We always say ish. It's 2:15, but you know, we started the countdown around 2. I'm joined by Daniel Chard.
Hi.
Just me. I just added a round of applause.
Just Dave.
I know you guys are going crazy at home. If you have no idea who Daniel Chard is, do not fear. Okay, I'm sure you all know who he is, but we're going to go into exactly who Daniel is, what he does, and why he is here. We're going to have a lot of chats and also head over to the card table and see some of Daniel's magic. So Dan, let's start at the beginning. Who are you?
I'm Daniel Chard, in case you didn't already know. So I'm a card magician from the city of Bristol, just outside of the southwest, just near Wales. I've been doing magic roughly for about 15 to 20 years, a mix of like flourishy. I've tried bits of everything, but I seem to stick on cards. And ever since then, I've just been doing like bar magic, weddings, corporate events, and creating magic for the magic community at large. So.
Amazing. So magic is your full-time.
Yeah, it is now. Yes, it's been a long journey, kind of getting there, but now it's finally become the full-time vocation.
That's awesome, man. And for you guys as well, if you have any questions for Dan, get them in. This is why we're live. You know,
we'll answer anything. So feel free.
Yeah, and he's got some awesome stories as well. You worked in, or do you still work in Illusions?
Yes, I've worked in Illusions Magic Bar in Bristol for. It was one of the first ones there actually. Probably about they had their 10-year anniversary last year, so it's been about 10 years. On and off for that time.
And that's where Expert Chart Table was filmed, isn't it?
No, this was actually filmed in the studio in Bromsgrove, but there's parts of some of the performances were filmed in one of the magic bars, yes.
Awesome. So yeah, if you've got any questions about that, which I'm sure you've got some stories dealing with drunk people.
I've got some stories eventually. we may or may not share, depending on the audience, I don't know.
I've recently joined a similar sort of residency, which is Houdini's in Canterbury, and you do end up at a certain time performing just for drunk people, and it becomes very interesting.
It does. I mean, there are different. It tends to be the audience that most performers don't like performing to. Yeah. But I suppose, over the duration of like the years of being performing, they seem to be the one now that, when people aren't like that, I feel a bit lost. Do you get that as well?
100%. They're my favourite audience.
Yeah.
They really are, because it's something just becomes real in the moment. Almost the third wall is just broken down, and now you're interacting. It keeps you on your toes as a performer, doesn't it? You know, especially if you're doing a routine you've done 1,000 times, and then suddenly something's said that throws you out of your rhythm. Yeah. Now, it makes you feel.
It is. And that's one of the things, because even though you've done a trick, say 1,000 times, because you've never been there at that moment with those people, it's entirely different. And there's no matter how much you practice, how much you philosophize, you can plan every contingency, but until you've been there, you never know what's going to come. And that for me keeps it exciting, even after like 10 years. It's like it's still the most fun environment for me to perform in, I think, the bar.
I completely agree, mate. Yeah, 100%. And as we're here, let's prize a little story out of you. What's your worst drunk story? Come on, who have you dealt with? What do you remember? If someone says, who is your worst person in that bar that you've dealt with over 10 years?
I don't, when it comes to a single person, I don't think there's been one that's been so, like, so drunk that I've not been able to do anything to them, if that makes sense. I had a funny one once where I had a guy, I think it's like a gypsy, come in. He was a relatively big built lad, and I was doing magic to him. It's like a signed card, done an ambitious card routine. It was going rather well, you know, jumps to the mouth, the pocket, the wallet, and then at the end I think it's like an envelope or, you know, however, the end reveal. And I gave him the card and he's like, that's not my card. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's, so at this point I see this guy, like, bear in mind I spread the deck out so there was no other signed cards in the deck, like, at this point, and this guy was like puffing his chest out, and I was like, okay, it's like he was getting mildly confrontational. I was like, that's not my card, and I was like, okay, fine, it's definitely not yours. But you could see it was the one that he's physically signed because there was no others in the deck, and he started to get a bit heated, and I was just like, yep, fine, no problem. And then I think 5 minutes after the performance, he fell out with someone else in the bar and got kicked out. So it was a lucky escape, man. It's one of those moments where you just leave ego at the door, and I was just like, yeah, I bow down to you, man. You know, it's definitely not yours.
Yeah, I mean, that just shows as well that, you know, that there are some stories that you hear with that where the magician then confronts and is knowing when and what to say, and
it is, I think
what you can get away with, really.
I mean, I guess that largely comes with experience, but when it comes down to the bar magic itself, for me, it's always that I'm there working for someone else promoting the venue, so it's kind of, you're representing their brand at that point, so you're not the main focal point, you know. As much as in our own head, like, we're the, you know, stars of our own magic, like, stage, if you like, but it's sometimes just taking a step back and realizing that, you know, you're an asset to them rather than so you don't want to be a liability in that sense. Because
they're not there, they haven't paid necessarily to see you.
No,
that's
not at all.
Thing.
Not at all.
They're there for the drinks. You are, you know, you're a pool to get them in. It's like it's a plus as well as the shots. But
I mean, you're an amazing extra. Let's be honest. It's like it's an amazing extension to a night out, especially if they've never seen magic before. They're coming into a kind of little subculture, if you like. Really, because it's kind of weird, right? You don't go out to a nightclub and expect to see a bearded man in a blazer doing card tricks, right? It's not your usual thing that you go out to see, but once you're in that environment, it's you've got the responsibility. You can change people's perceptions of magic. You know, you can, going forward, that you leave them with a really good memory.
Definitely,
unless they're not too drunk. But
and the amount of times, you know, I don't know whether you say a similar thing. I like to ask at the beginning, have you ever seen magic close up before? And the amount of times you do get people go, no, they've never seen it. So
it's I mean, it's kind of a weird thing because I don't know about you, obviously we're wearing magic all the time, so we spend so much time watching magicians, learning from magicians in books, DVDs, conventions. We're surrounded by this kind of subculture, but sometimes we forget there's a real world out there, right? Like, you know, if you go to a pub down the road, they've got no idea that your place is even probably there, and it's I think it's that uncertainty of the environment that keeps it fresh. Even as you get more experienced in magic.
Brilliant. So we've got some questions coming in as well. So we've got the guys out there. So we'll just say as well, thank you for joining us. Daniel was very kind. He's going to give away one of his DVDs, Expert at the Chard Table. We are going to talk about this. Very nice.
That's terrible. Here
we go.
There we go, dude.
we are going to talk a bit about this. I think Dan's going to show us one or two things from it. And also about your course tonight. We're going to get onto that because if you found out that, do you know what, actually I've got tonight free, I was expected to go out, I've got tonight free, well, stay in and watch the Academy, why not? Daniel's got some amazing stuff he's going to be sharing tonight. I'm sure our friends will drop the links below if you'd like to purchase that, but you can head over to our site for all the information on tonight's Academy, but we will go into more detail. So some hellos out there. I'll start by saying some hellos. So we've got Matthew Ramsell, we've got Fig Newton, just looking through, Simon Keane, Mark Call, Luke Osland, we've got Roger Thompson, so Mark Woodington. Thank you for joining us, and a few questions coming from you guys as well. So let's go for Kevin Bowman says, does Daniel have a favourite go-to effect?
Yes, it's probably depending on the environment, it would generally be if it's like a quick effect, just be a right card, wrong card. Just
right.
Sometimes we forget how powerful that one moment is. Like when you remember the first time you've seen, I don't know what moves you can and can't say because it's going out to the millions of potential lay people. But like the first time you see someone lose your card in the deck, quick top change, place it in your hand, like that moment's powerful as hell, right?
Yeah, massive.
But I guess generally, if taxed, it'd be like a card under box or card under object, depending on.
You love a card under box.
I do.
Don't you?
I just like putting things under things. It's a weird disposition, but yeah, it's one of those.
Whatever floats your boat.
It is. It's hard to stay PC, right? Like we're like midday, so trying to be.
Sure. No, it's good. It's good. It's good. We'll see how this goes.
Yes.
One aim to me. Any news of the new website, Dave? Nothing as of late. I know Pete is daily working on it. Pete's been out of the office for a few days, so I need to catch up with him when he's back. So not entirely sure on that. We are fingers crossed and hoping very soon. And of course, you know, along with that will come our huge Magic giveaway as well. We haven't forgotten. We thank you guys for bearing with us as we bear with the technical side of the site. So appreciate that. And
It's done.
Yeah, it's Dan and Dave, yeah, very good.
Slightly different skill level.
Rick Weston says, may I say, sir, that is one well-groomed example of facial hair. Look at that.
That's one very elaborate description of facial hair. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the sentiment.
Oh, this is a good question. I'll go to that in just a second. I will just say that these little bad boys are our new Mayfair edition of the Assassins, and they are due out on the 16th of July. They are beautiful. I didn't even know that these were in. They've been hiding out the back,
just hidden away,
literally, and they are really, really nice.
Really
They're very well made, and they are available for pre-order on our site now, and at a very good price as well. So go and check them out. So. Let me ask you this question, and then what we'll do is we've got a few traders to drop for you guys, and then we're going to shoot over to the card table. You're going to show us a couple of tricks. And we'll talk a bit about the academy. Again, keep your questions coming in, guys. Today is all about you, so the longer you ask questions, the longer we'll be here. Mark Cool says, send me that wallet. I have put yours aside, Mark. I have today, so they are safe. They are safe, and we'll be going out when they can. You let me down, Dan. No Dragon Ball Z top.
That's the there will be in the academy later. So.
All right.
I mean, that's all practically what I am. Aside from dress shirts.
You're known for the Dragon Ball Z.
I am.
Okay.
It seems to be a weird, just associated with anime, right?
Yeah. Are you going to release your own deck anytime soon? If you do, you should totally call them playing charts.
Yes, I could, but I think now I'm trying to escape from the. Like every release I've done has been like a play on a typical like a pun based on either like a magic book or an existing magic release. So I'm trying to step away from that slightly. It's too easy, right? It's just like I don't know. It's too easy to.
You've created a brand now. You know, people are expecting
based on everyone else's, right?
Yeah, we've just chard thrown in. Yeah. It's good. It's a good. A question here from Roger Thompson. What are your thoughts on gaffs?
Love them. So I use a lot of different gaffs and a lot of different scenarios. I think one of the things that I guess I wanted to change with like the Alakazam Academy was that I think a lot of people I've spoken to assume that I'm a purist because I used a lot of like flourishy stuff, but no, I mean if there's an effect that uses gaffs and has a real powerful effect, I don't mind spending an hour, prepping for that one moment. It's strong as hell. I mean, to be honest, it's the end magic effects the thing I care about the most. So yes, I love cards, but if there's an amazing thing you can do with a gaff that you couldn't do with sleight of hand, I think you owe it to yourself and your audience to actually go and do that. Do you know what I mean? And I think there's some, there are some tricks that you just almost kill the beauty of by doing them with sleight of hand. Yeah. For example, McDonald's Aces, I think that there's no other clean version, that looks as beautiful as that. The same with a really good colour changing deck by John Bannon. You know the name. The one you mean. Strange Gallery. Yes. Strange Gallery. Yeah. So the first time I seen that, all the cards change colour, it just hit me for 6 because it was such a strong routine that you just can't replicate with sleight of hand. Usually you go from like a red deck to a blue deck or like a rainbow deck, however, but when you've got so many like built-in climaxes within one routine, it's like, it seems silly not to use those, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I love using gaffs, and I agree with what you're saying as well. Like, even if it takes 5 or 10 minutes of prep, or even an hour of prep, if it's going to create a moment that they're not going to forget, then definitely go for it.
I think, yeah, that's the important thing as well. Certainly because it's often those moments that get you booked. Do you know what I mean? From other people, like if you give someone an impossible souvenir, which is something I'll probably talk about later. It's something you can attach either a business card to or some form of promotional material, and it's something that you're going to be a conversation point for years to come. So it just keeps you fresh and relevant in mind, right?
Massively, and you'll find
it's important, I think.
Yeah, 100%, and you'll find that. You'll be one of the few people that actually do it, because lots of people don't like to prep stuff. They don't like to put the time.
It's easy to be lazy, especially with, say you're doing like a corporate and you've got 12, 15 tables and you have to get around all of them. It's very easy just to rely on a, like a one corner routine, a quick, based on the time restraints, to not put in the, well, I think in those circumstances, it's even more crucial to do the opposite, right? Because if you're the one that does that, you immediately stand out.
Oh, massive.
For the sake of, I mean, if you do Magic full time, you pretty much have the first start of the week free, right? Yeah. You've got a week. You have no excuses, guys. No excuses.
There's an effect that I do which uses sweets, right? Skittles, and it takes prepping, right? It takes a lot of prepping, but I never ever fail to have people remember it.
Sure.
Mention it when and that is the one. If I get rebooked, that is the one. How long does
it take to make? Is it like
I've got it down to like 3.5 minutes now
per unit.
Per unit.
How many you make per gig?
I would do probably between sort of 5 and 10, depending.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So, but it will be that one. It's that trick where people just go,
"What the hell?"
What? And they always talk about it, and I think that's important. And because there's that bit of prep.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I've lectured it, and it's on my Penguin and all that. Okay. But I don't think anyone performs it because I think it takes prep.
Because it takes work to make,
But it's worth it. I mean, Kieran, for example, is a prime example. Kieran Johnson, I mean, I don't know how long he must prep for his stuff, but the ice alone, and then. If he does his soil trick,
hours, right? I mean, he must prep for hours, but I think it's
Kit Kats,
it's that immediately helps him stand out. It's the ice, and I've watched him do stuff live, and it's quite refreshing in that sense that you see such different texture with so many different effects.
Yeah,
because you're used to seeing. I mean, because if you look at most card effects. So you do ambitious card or cards wallet, the thing they tend to remember is the varied end result. So if you do like an Omni deck, that's the point that they remember. Everything else kind of vanishes before it, right? Yeah. And it depends. There's so many different things to talk about with that. I think. There's some questions.
Yeah. So Big Newton says, "Hey, does Daniel or anybody distinguish between the different packs of cards in their close-up case? So if you've got gaffs and gimmicks within other decks, do you have ways of distinguishing?"
It really depends. I mean, sometimes just on the bottom of the box, you might just have like invisible deck or just like ID written on like the barcode or something like that, just to keep it separate from the rest of the packs. I think I don't really use too many gaffs that are like just carry alone decks, if that makes sense. Sure. So I don't have like one deck for one thing, one for another. I tend to use gaffs that I can have in my pocket, add to the deck as I please, and then go off and do that effect. Or if I'm going to have one, in my case, just for a one trick, I'd only carry if it's going to be a really strong moment that I can use at the end of a show, or like when you get those people come up to you after a gig, after you've done the tables, you just want that one kind of really hit hard moment that everyone talks about just for that one piece.
Yeah.
Just because I think otherwise pocket space is such a limited thing, right?
Yeah,
you don't want to carry too many. Yeah. And I don't tend to carry my case into gigs because it's just too cumbersome to want to work my pockets as much as I can.
No, it's good. It's a good answer. We also have here from Roger said, how do you switch the gaffs in and out?
Sure. I mean, most gaffs I'll use will be ones that I can immediately take out after. So I won't name the ones I used. Well, there's a couple I use I'll share later, but they're usually, you add them with a palm, or you can have them in the box. You can place the cards in the box as you're pretending to put them away, and like, okay, do you want to see one more? Give them the apparent choice, and then go into a routine from there. But typically, yeah, just be like a palm add-on of some kind, or just dip your hands in your pockets, add the necessary gaff to where it needs to go, bring your hands out and off you go. So I think it's less about, I think people get so hung up on how do I get my gaffs in and out, because I think it's more important to look at the situation and the context than it is the actual gaffs themselves. Because I mean, there's a million and one ways to add gaffs for, you know, there are gaffs that you use to add gaffs, right?
Yeah.
And this ever weird subculture
it's weird,
of developing gimmicks, right? But I think just adding them on and getting on with it, I think is the most important.
You'll find in a real situation you get away with a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the same with like deck vanishes. Like when you're making a deck like vanish in your pocket, for example, the attention. I mean, sometimes we think, oh, the attention's on us. I mean, obviously, if you're a good former, you can hold the attention of the table. But in the same vein, like adding a gaff is such an incidental moment. It's you know, we'll just start with a gaff in the deck to start with. Do some effects that don't rely on it or disturb its location, but then you can go into anything else from them.
Yeah. No, great.
Sure.
So what we're going to do, we're going to head over to the card table so that you guys can see some magic. That's why you're here. We're going to be giving away expert at the card table. It's going to be down to you to give this away at some point afterwards. And we're going to show you a few different traders as well for some of the stuff that's come in. There's one thing that I'm going to drop now, which will give us time to head over there. There's something that's come into stock, and it's fantastic. It's called Tic-Tac-Toe. Basically, it's a stage or parlour version. There's two versions. One of them is huge for stage. One of them is smaller for parlour. But it's an effect that you can build. You can make it up there and then, so it packs flat pretty much, but plays massive. And they come in today, and the quality is awesome. You get the stand with each as well, and yeah, let's take a look if you haven't seen it. So this is Tic-Tac-Toe.
Hi, I'm Bond Lee. As a professional magician, we always seek for magic which is practical, efficient, and commercial. Today, I present you my secret weapon, Tic-Tac-Toe Pro. For this magic, we're going to use our childhood game, Tic-Tac-Toe. A classic paper and pencil game between two players. Now it turns into an interactive game between magicians and audience. Audience can freely make their decisions, but no matter what their choices are, the result has always been determined. 接住咁多謝大家，一如冇你哋嘅話，咁我哋呢個 show。Thank you very much. You can choose to display anything, your message, your logo, and even a simple happy button. Tic-Tac-Toe Pro comes in stage size and parlor size, so you can choose the one you need. Each and every one of them are handcrafted by Terry Jones. It is designed to be disassembled, allowing it very easy to carry around. Practical, efficient, commercial. This is Tic-Tac-Toe Pro.
Alright, so that's Tic-Tac-Toe Pro. I would just say as well that the smaller version of that, the stand that it comes with is a wooden easel, so it looks slightly different to what you saw there, but you get it with it, so it's all good. Right, so we've got some questions coming in from you guys as well. We've decided that the way we're going to give the DVD away as a prize as well is Daniel's going to pick one of his favourite questions. So.
Yeah, so if you just send the questions in, try and catch me and Dave off guard, within reason, obviously. We've got customers.
But he's happy to answer most things, so you know.
Maybe off air. I'll send you a DM. Slide into the DMs, as I say.
Awesome. So do you want to do a trick? Because we've got lots of questions coming in.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. I'll show you. This is one of the ones from tonight. So Dave, I spend a kind of disproportionate amount of time on social media. Do you spend much time on your phone or?
Mainly chatting to you on social media.
Mainly chatting to me. Not like sad life. So you spend so much time when you know you should be doing things, scrolling through Facebook, looking at other people's lives while you're not really living your own, right? Sure. Obviously, I don't know about you, but I spend a lot of time watching Magic Online, just Magic, nothing else. And then Yeah. And then what happens is I get sucked into conversations about just irrelevant things. So I want to show you a trick that kind of revolves around social media.
Okay.
But because when you see magic, people ask you like, where can they follow you? And social media is obviously the best outlet because you give, you can post one video and it goes out to multiple people.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, we'll try something. So would you take anyone?
Okay.
And don't show me. I'll look away from the massive camera. And if you'd be so kind, Dave, pop a signature on the front for me.
Sure.
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect. And place the card back for me. So Dave, lost in the deck.
Yeah.
So at this point, this is as fair as it's going to get, right? So so one of the places I typically try and send people to watch my stuff is Instagram.
Right.
So you're probably wondering, well, where can we see you? So we go through the deck. You can see that you can follow my Instagram at Daniel Chard Magic.
Very
Shameless
nice.
little plug there, Dave.
Smooth.
But what was the card you picked?
9 of diamonds.
9 of diamonds. It should be one card. It should be the
Nice.
9 of diamonds with a smiley face. Cute little touch there, Dave. Very good. But I want to try something else with the card as well. So what's going to happen if we go through the back with this? So stop whenever you wish.
Stop.
Right there. Okay. So this is where you could see the magic, but I'm just going to show you live for the time being. Would you memorize the card?
Got it.
Okay. I'm going to lose the card in the center of the pack. And all we do is this. Just wave. So this is the magic. So again, this is the other social media channel you can catch me on.
Oh.
Don't know what's going on here, Dave. You should see there's only been one card with the social media information on, yes?
Yeah.
It's been on the table the entire time.
Yes.
Hopefully it should be the
6 of clubs.
Should be the 6
Very nice.
clubs.
Very
This begs
nice.
the question more about your card, and that's actually inside the box. That should be the 9 diamonds.
Very nice.
Thank you.
No, very good. And I love the whole social media thing I found as well. When you're working out there.
Yes.
This is now the new website in my eyes.
It is,
If
yeah.
people
I mean,
can get to this in seconds and just go bang.
yeah,
straight
it
away.
tends to be one of the ways you can go about it. It just means that if you, I mean, I spent a lot of time trying to learn about SEO and various website optimizations, and it's such a kind of minefield of conflicting information. Some say that you could use a blog to kind of really accentuate and expose your website, but social media certainly seems to be the best personal way I've found.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing a trick to someone, you've got like 5 people in front of you. And there's a way that, I've seen great strategies of people predicting like a card on Twitter and then everyone going on there and following them. Do you know what I mean? So you're getting so many, it's only 5 at a time. But if you think about the accumulative effect of that, and then as you post more, people share that, and it's just a way of growing that kind of out now. And I think it's more personal as well because it seems less invasive because following you on social media it's a free way of keeping in touch with pretty much everyone you perform for.
Yeah.
I think for me that's like the benefit of changing stuff like this because I mean it's basically Red Hot Mama just with a different twist, and it's just
nice
so
little
many
kicker
ways
with the
you
box at the end.
Yeah, and I mean that's one way. It could end up in an envelope with your business card attached. There's endless ways you can go about it. It's just that's the one low key way if you can follow that end up.
Nice. Very good.
Thank you.
All right, we'll carry on with a few more questions while we're here hanging out. So let me have a little sift through and just see
Flying in.
who we've got. Yeah, we've got loads now. How many routines should be in one set at a table?
It really depends. There's no hard and fast answer. I think the correct thing to do would be to assess how much time you've got with a given group and the constraints of the evening. So it's different on the bar because I don't know about you, but sometimes I'll work for 4 or 5 hours straight, just stood at the bar. People will come and go, and I'll just be continually for like 4 or 5 hours. I do that because I'm passionate and love what I do, so the time just goes like that. Whereas I know that's not for everyone, but if say you're doing a table and you've only got like 5 minutes, you might want to do, 2 or it's probably 2, maybe 3 if you've got time, like 7 minutes for your strongest material. Just get in there, hit them hard, and then. But again, it depends how much time you've got, right? If you've only got 5 minutes, you want to do your strongest stuff for that 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Get them applauding, get them clapping, get your business card to them if you're allowed to, depending on if you're working for an agent, etc. And then carry on with your life.
Yeah, it depends on how many tables as well.
That's the thing. It really depends. I mean, on average, some gigs you might only get one routine per table, but if you just make it your strongest, in that case.
definitely. Danny Marsh says, do you think dress is important when performing?
Yes, 100%. I mean, today is obviously different because we're doing like an online academy, so going for the superhero thing seems to be popular as of late. But I think, yeah, always dress to your to the event. So say you're going to, I'll always wear a suit generally to every gig. Sometimes tie, obviously depending on hot.
Yeah.
You know, in the summer, that's when it's horrible wearing suits, right?
Yeah.
29 degrees, you're a wedding and stuff, but you have to.
You're making a first impression on these people, so it's always good to just put yourself in their position and be, how would you, you know, when you see someone, the first few seconds, you make an assumption about that person.
Yeah. I mean, they say you got like they say they make their first impression within microseconds, but like 5 to 7 seconds. Like they're making their first assumption of you.
Yeah, and if that's scruffy or an oversized suit that doesn't quite,
or the opposite, right? An undersized suit. Like if
you
you see people who've had the same jacket for years, like if they don't grow and adapt.
Yeah.
Or certain thing, wear a smile. You know, that makes your job a lot easier as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of cute, heartwarming.
Marlo or Vernon?
Both. I think
that was an easy way out of that, wasn't it?
Well, no, I'll justify it. So, Vernon for the theory and you know, creating close-up magic. Well, certainly influencing the direction that most of it went in. Vernon for the theory and Marlo for the moves. I mean, they're both they're yin and yang, aren't they? They're both part of the continuum in some sense. Because if there wasn't a man that might not necessarily have to be a man, but someone that created all the moves that we use, like a lot of stuff we use is Marlo's, or you know, or borrows from the ideas. But Vernon shaped a lot of the important theory that we use a lot of the time. I think that's really important.
But we're both, I don't think you can go wrong.
What's that?
Either of them, if you want to pick one, I don't think you could go wrong, to be fair. But I
think Vernon certainly had a huge influence, probably more than. But Marlo was just prolific. I mean, they're both incredible in their own right.
Cool. Quick question. Phil Taylor said, "Did I miss the wallet?" We were showing it. We are not dropping any trailers or anything as of yet, but they are out on the 16th of July. You can pre-order these now, and they're at a very good price on our site as well. So check them out.
Who would win?
So who would win? This is what Mark Whittington. Who would win in a rap battle between you and Paul Gordon?
I mean, well, Paul Gordon's classically trained in singing, so I think he's got the tempo, you know. So if he just takes it from Frank Sinatra, adds a bit of Eminem, I'm sure he could. I'm sure he can drop some mean beats.
He could keep up.
I reckon so.
Yeah,
I'm possibly win. I have no idea. I mean, I can barely rap presents, let alone the bloody rap song.
So, what? Oh, Roger something says, what about Jennings?
Jennings is very good, but I think Vernon and Marlo were the two kind of pillars of influence. Jennings was a very important student of Vernon, but I think he's important for very different reasons. And he's certainly had a very strong impact on close-up magic. He's created some amazing effects, and his books are worth studying. So if you do get a chance to hold of those, do that.
Right. There's a really good question from Rick Weston, which we'll come back to in just a second. And keep your questions coming in. That's how you're going to be in the chance of winning Expert at the Chart Table. Daniel's going to give one of those away at the end of today's live. But shall we see another trick?
Sure. Yeah, let's go. So I want to. This is from Expert at the Chart Table. This is a take on the like Dunbury type of effects. I'll show you what I mean. So when most magicians perform for you, they'll spread the deck towards you, get you to select from a certain position, right? But if I'm timing with you, you might think that I'm trying to elicit you to choose a certain card. So would you take
wouldn't do that to me.
I would never do such a thing, David. Never. No. Would you? I don't know what the hell we're doing now. Take any 5 cards from anywhere in the pack.
All right.
So you know that these are a free choice.
Yeah.
The reason I'm narrowing it down to these is just so we know that you have a fair selection. I'll get rid of those. Perfect. And give them a little shuffle. Give them a little mix. How fair does that feel, Dave? Fairness.
Too fair.
Fairness personified. I'm going to turn my head away like this. I can't really move my neck because I don't have one. It's genetics, right? So I'm going to. Thanks for laughing at the back there. Just self-esteem is just going to.
That's a great night.
I hope the numbers go up and my self-esteem's going down. We will get to the trick, I promise. I'm going to show you cards like this. All I want you to do is when you see a card facing you that you like, it doesn't have to be personally, just objectively. When you see one that you like, just say stop, memorize it, and then we will stop at that point. So time when you see a card facing this one.
Yeah.
Breathe on into your mind, Dave.
Got it.
Happy? So we're going to give the cards a shuffle like this. Now I want you to imagine, so hypothetical scenario, I want you to imagine we take the card like this, invisibly.
Right.
Have you ever seen an invisible card?
No.
No, it's an oxymoron. Well, you can.
Yeah.
I'm going to place it right there on the beautiful logo. Flag. Now, Dave, this is fiction, right? But we can blur the line between fiction and reality. Because if that did actually happen, we'd be left with the 1, 2, 3, and 4 cards.
Nice.
Do you see your card there, Dave?
No.
No.
I don't.
Scary, but if we actually look, it's a red card.
Yeah.
It's a queen.
Yeah.
It's the Queen of Hearts.
It is.
Not
indeed.
bad, not bad, dude, right?
Very nice.
But the thing is, imagine we could take a card like this and throw it to an alternative location. So in this case, we actually look in my pocket. Should have a. That's not that one. It's not this one.
Nice. No,
Should hopefully be.
that is
Should
really
be
sweet.
the Queen of Hearts. And that was yours.
Good job, man. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Very sweet. So that's on Expert the Child.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and I'll probably share that one later on this evening as well. That's one of the ones that's been well received. Inspired by Gary Jones, John Kerry, and there's loads of handlings of effects like that.
I love that moment when
It's
like,
such
what?
a strong.
Bounce back, right?
It just uses our assumptions against them. Do you know what I mean? It's a strong moment. They're
Fantastic.
flooding in. Look at this.
They are, yeah. Keep the questions coming in, guys. If you've just joined, and we have people joining all the time, we're asking for questions in order to be in with a chance of winning Expert the Child table. It can be anything.
Not the wallet. That's
Not the wallet.
July 16th. You get your bank accounts ready, right?
I see you've got your eyes on it, though.
I'll do it. I have got my eyes on it. If no one else buys it, I will.
Well, we have more than one. I would let you. It's not
I was
just.
going to say that might be an expensive wallet, otherwise, right? If that's your only inventory.
Wow. Okay. Look, lots of great questions, and thank you for getting them in, guys. So let's have a look. The one from Rick Weston, really, really nice question here. So, how often do you change the sets you perform, and do you just swap one item out or go for a complete change? Do you trial a new set, and if yes, where and to whom?
Sure.
Or do you go in cold once you're happy with a set?
I don't know about you, but personally I always stick to, I've got one, behind the bar I've got 3 sets I use. That will be generally like 3 sets of 3 or 4 effects.
Yeah.
That I can chop and change, that I think either have a nice synergy that work together, or ones I think are just strong pieces of magic that allow me to interact with someone, have a bit of a laugh, and take a step back rather than just kind of doing self-indulgent displays of skill, which I do love sometimes in the right case.
Yeah.
I think very often I'll have the kind of core set that I'll perform. I'll do the same like 3 or 4 effects each table, but if someone has either seen me before or someone mentions let's just say someone mentions that they'd seen a deck of cards turn into glass in someone's hand, that they've seen the Omni deck, which for them it's more powerful if you do it a second time, just because you're then recreating that moment for them. And obviously, because they don't know necessarily how you move, how you flow, you can get that in, blow their mind, and they now attach that memory with you. Right? You're then fresh in your mind. But that said, I'll always have a bank of backup material, like 15 to 20 strong effects, which you can chop and change at any point. I mean, just with a deck, but I'll have different things on my person. Like I always carry like an 8-ball. So it's often kind of, I forget sometimes at customs, and they're like, why are you carrying an 8-ball, you weirdo? And usually keeping business cards has like been a saving grace. So I remember when I went to the House of Illusion in Spain, I had in my carry-on bag I had 10 meters of rope.
Right.
Now for most people in the real world, that's kind of weird, right? Because I don't know how. Because I don't look like a rock climber or an athlete, right?
No, you don't. You do. You do.
No.
I even tried that. I went, no, you do. You do.
Yeah, you're like that. No, definitely not. And but like, it was only because I had a business card in there that like it got me, saved me from having a conversation with customs, because they seen I was a magician, and then instantly 10 meters of rope was justified, right? And I was just like, it's kind of like part of me was laughing the entire flight, but also I was like, that's kind of scary, man. Like. Border patrols are swayed by magician and right, but anyway, back to the question. 4 or 5 effects, different sets, and generally I'll stick to the same set but add new things in if I have to go back around, because I think that's important, especially when you get the gigs that you know, you see it online all the time that people are hired for like 2 hours for like 8 people, right?
Yeah.
So whether that's a bad kind of negotiation step on their part, or if someone wants that so badly, you just have to have a big bank of material, because then you need it for that situation, right?
Yeah, massively.
And it's but when it comes to trying it cold, I guess I'd always stick to, I'd only perform stuff I know works. Because if someone, you know, because I can practice at the bar, but when I'm at a gig, someone's paying me to deliver a product, so I have to, you know, perform the strongest stuff I can, because that's not my practice time, because it's not fair on them, because obviously they're expecting a certain high standard.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's a long way of saying stick to your set and add stuff in as you can.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that, and I think having that sort of opportunity to have a residency and do the bar and all that sort of stuff is, I tend to use later in the evening.
Yes.
You know, because let's be honest, you can get away with a little bit more.
Yeah,
at that
100%.
time.
I think.
And that's when I'll bring out the stuff that I'm just kind of working on. When I didn't have that opportunity and I wanted to do it in a working paid gig, I would always I just read the room. You know, when you have that table where you just can't go wrong. They love you.
Yeah.
So within the first couple of tricks, you know that they're there with you.
So do you think that ability to read people comes from experience, or do you have any tips on how people can read people better?
Yeah, I think it is. Unfortunately, there's no quick way around it. I think that it is, you get out there and you understand it, and you work with people. Because everyone's different. But having good communication skills, I know, and this isn't an arrogant thing, I know that...
So arrogant, Dave.
I know in a second, if somebody is not feeling it, I know I can switch them to like me. And I can stop. Yeah, I can stop. I'm being honest though, right?
I know.
Because the reason I know I can do that is because I understand how to do that from hanging around with people, talking to people, and feeling their body language. Well, not feeling their body.
Since the court case.
Hello. Sorry, we won't talk about that.
No.
You know, getting their body language, understanding what they're saying, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the magic has to change.
No, not at all. I mean, I think that's the misnomer for a lot of people, is they think that your magic has to change for each person. I mean, if you're performing for each group anyway, you don't know the kind of interaction you're going to get from them, so it's instantly different in that sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you've hit on, I'd say, the most important thing in magic is social skills. I think it's just, I mean, although I've spent 15 years messing with cards, and, you know, magic I really like, I think talking to people is the best misdirection in the world, because when I realised if you can hold someone with conversation, you know, they're not looking at your past. It doesn't matter how effective or invisible, in air quotes, love those.
Sorry, I'm just trying to read it.
No, it's fine. Just ignore me, Dave. I get it.
Right, there's so many questions coming in now as well.
Let's get answering them, Dave. Come on.
Right, so as you know, I'm aware of your personal development. How important do you say it is for performers to study and grow outside of magic itself? As John
I think it's huge. Who's that one?
John.
John, awesome, good man. Hello, John. Woo. I think it's personal development is super important, but I mean that means different things to different people. Like developing areas outside of magic, I think is essential because it makes you a more rounded person. Outside of the physical versions. But I think because if you have different areas outside of magic, let's just say, I don't know, like philosophy, politics, or just science, just things outside of that, and you've got, different knowledge base that you can insert, you can make your magic more interesting by talking stuff that you're into, because it makes it more authentic, it makes your performance more genuine and tailored to that person. Cause
people more likely to connect to you.
Yeah, that's the 100%. The connection's the important thing. I think when it comes to personal development type stuff, I think it's more around the mindset that it gives you. Stuff around like confidence, outlook, drive, certainly motivation, and all that stuff. I think confidence is obviously the main thing. So if you see someone that's a confident performer, you just instantly ease in their presence. Yeah. But if you want a good body, you go to the gym. If you want to be a good banker, you study that. So for me, it makes sense that if you want a good mindset or life, you study that as well. It just, to me, it seemed like a logical progression. Yeah. And it's just interesting kind of brain food, if you like, to think about.
Great. So I'm just going to keep these going.
Yeah,
because
cool. Dude, I'm here.
They're great. It's great.
That's what we said.
So Grant Maidment says, great advice, Dan. What is your favourite event to perform at, and why?
I mean, to be honest, man, I love magic, so any event really. But I mean, typically, my favourite events to perform at are recently I've started doing stage shows at Smoke and Mirrors in Bristol. If you get a chance to come down. That's a really fun dynamic because it's kind of like mini parlour in that sense. Because intimate 50-seater theatre. You're doing magic to people that pay to come and see you, so it's the best kind of audience in that sense because there's a connection there. You know, they're really enthusiastic because they've paid money from their bank account to come and see you.
They want to see magic.
Yeah, exactly. So, right. So that's
you're winning already.
But yeah, no, either that weddings are great just because everyone's having a good time, and usually that's the best behaved they're going to be. Obviously, we have certain outliers as we know. But yeah, aside from that, probably the bar, I think, is one of my favourite places that I always come back to, just because it's unpredictable, fun as hell, and you keep learning. Like, I feel like every shift I do, I either learn how to do something better, that something I used to do doesn't work now because of, I don't know, it could be, people's tastes change, it could be the way society's going, less attention, so you have to then get rid of your story effects and then get in real like visual fast effects. So it's just a constant, it's that form of evolution I really like, do you know what I mean? It's that keeping learning new stuff. I think that's the important part.
Daniel, have you or do you still use any effects that you've purchased from magic dealers? Yeah,
all the time. I mean, to be honest, I think, there are certain ones I use that I use quite a lot. Started using a chalk cup again recently behind the bar because that's really strong. Other dealer effects, yes I do. I'm trying to think of ones off the top of my head. I use Nick Einhorn's Nest of Wallets all the time. It's just such a strong piece of magic. I use Convex, use that all the time. If I don't,
I use both of them as well.
Yeah, I mean just stealing my repertoire, man. Well, no, it's pretty much like every close up magician.
I don't think I took it from you.
No, you didn't.
From Einhorn, really.
Sure. Yeah.
And you?
Yeah, because I watched his Penguin lecture, and I was just like everything was strong as hell.
It is. Just
I used the next following night. I felt like a bit of an Einhorn fanboy. I had this the clock trick with the rainbow deck, strong as hell, and just loads of little pieces I used from his effect. But I mean, to be honest, it really depends because I'm always learning from live lectures or books. So the material that I'll use can change on a weekly basis. Do you know what I mean? But then it might be a month later that someone shows you an effect or reminds you of an effect you used to do. Yeah. And you're like, oh damn, you forget about it, and then you instantly go back to doing it. But there are certain dealer items that I use all the time, like the Nest of Wallets and Convex, just because they're amazing kind of impromptu items. If you but I found recently as well that people don't carry coins as much now. Do you find that?
Right, yeah.
So where money's becoming more electronic, even if you go to a wedding, you say, oh, do you have a coin on you? Decreasing numbers of people carry them now. Yeah. So that's just from my experience.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But cards are timeless, right? So there's an argument for everything. But
yeah. On the vlog, on a vlog that I did with Andy, we were talking about card to wallet.
Yes.
And I perform it all the time.
Yeah.
Andy had some interesting views on it. He doesn't perform there.
Okay. Did you say the reason why? Or?
Yeah, he did. Trying to make it short.
Succinct.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very good discussion, actually.
Sure.
You're best to probably chat with him when we go next door as to why. Yeah. But I think here, basically, they just want your thoughts on do you use it, why?
I always carry, I use Harry Robson's High Wallet. It's been a bit bad. I've used it for ages.
Nice.
But showing you my wallet, Dave. Not quite as nice as that one show I've been eyeing up for the last hour. Little shameless plug. That's a good thing, right?
That was good. It was good linking there.
But no, I use it all the time. Mainly, not necessarily for the location of the wallet, because I think cards in possible location doesn't matter which one you use. The wallet is a more relatable item, certainly because it's what most people use. I have my bank cards in there, and I use it for a normal wallet as well. Because I think that's the problem sometimes is you'll see a magician at the bar using one wallet, and then 10 minutes later he's got this leopard skin snake skin wallet that's got no cards in, or it just seems really pristine, right? So I think if it looks authentically like something you'd use, great. But I think for the most part, I use it for card to envelope. So for me, it just adds that extra layer of it's like Nestor Wallace in some sense, that it's an item within an item and it's inside. So I think it adds a little bit more strength. It's a normal item, so yes, it's really strong, but in the same way, I wouldn't, if there was suddenly a law that stopped people performing cards well, I wouldn't be too upset, because there are plenty of other ways you could do it, like ice, like Kieran's stuff.
I think you're right in what you're saying as well, to make sure it suits you. I mean, we the Young Magicians Club, they're younger, and them bringing in
funny though.
It's weird how it works.
I know why.
Them bringing the Jerry O'Connell Marsh out is a bit like, you wouldn't carry that.
I think sometimes as well we feel kind of so indoctrinated in some sense. Like we use cards, we use coins, we use a long piece of ribbon and ring, and cards appear in wallets because we've seen others do them, therefore we replicate what we've seen. You know, you don't get many people kind of vary the objects we use. I mean, you know, there's reasons for and against. But I think a lot of the time, well, certainly me, myself, I learned card to wallet because I'd seen another performer do it, and it was just such a strong effect that I wanted to replicate the same effect that I, had on me to my audience.
Great. So I'm going to kind of sift through a couple now. I think some are showing up twice, so that's all right.
Naughty Zuckerberg.
But what we're going to do, I'm going to drop a quick trailer, and then we are literally going to head back over to there, give away the prize, and finish the vlog. It's already come up to an hour.
Oh, really? An hour?
I know. We can literally stay and chat for ages.
I can chat for days, man.
No, but guys, if you're not, well, even if you are busy tonight, the academies get saved straight into your account. You watch it whenever you want. But the great thing about being able to interact is this. You can ask anything and related to anything. So the questions about the trick you just did and so on and so forth. So anytime you guys want to get involved tonight on the academy, you can ask anything you like.
6.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock to kick off. So if you want to learn some magic before the football, Dave,
there you go. It's football tomorrow night, which is why this is tonight. So
because I can talk a lot as well, it's going to be a long. It's good for you, can't make.
Yeah, I can't make it tonight. This will be one I would definitely be watching back there.
Thank you.
So let's take a quick look at a future teacher of the academy who I know you're going to absolutely love. If you saw his last course, then you're going to want to get in for this one. So let's take a look at Liam's new course.
Yes.
Hello internets, my name is Liam Montier and I'm inviting you to join me for my second Alakazam Live Academy covering packet tricks. Now normally that's a subject that will divide magicians like Marmite. You love them or hate them, but I promise that all of you will end up loving packet tricks after the Academy course. We're going to be taking a look at some really classic tricks from Alex Elmsley and Peter Kane. We're going to be looking at some modern classics from some masters of now, and we're going to be looking in detail at all the techniques. So that's the Elmsley counts, all your Hammond counts, Jordan counts, some multiple lift work from small packets, all that kind of thing to really add a fine layer of polish onto your card magic. And we're also going to be covering some packet tricks that work from a regular deck. So if you're not a fan of carrying some specially printed cards in your wallet, you don't have to worry, because most of these are going to work from a borrowed shuffled deck that you can do anytime, anywhere. And of course with the Academy, you get to ask the questions. So yeah, let's look forward to seeing you guys there.
Alright, so that is Liam's new course, so be sure to sign up for that one. It's going to be great fun, but if you haven't signed up for tonight, then we've got Daniel Chard 7 PM. Okay,
7 PM English time.
Question, why aren't you using Academy Elites?
I am. They were here the whole time. You just thought they were bicycles.
He does have Elites actually, and
they'll be using,
using them. Brilliant. So guys, loads of questions here. Really appreciate that. I've had a little sift through as well. And I think that kind of brings us towards the end. Just to restate about this awesome little wallet, these are going to be made available on the 16th. They are on our site.
When are they available, Dave?
Pre-order the 16th of July. And they are awesome. The quality
great.
is
They look
lovely.
really nice.
If you used the Assassin before, you'll know the wallet. Now it's in a lovely brown. I don't know. It just seems to me that the stitching on it is very sort of
exquisite.
No, it is pristine. I don't know if that picks up there.
Pristine.
Yeah, there you go. So that brings us towards the end. You're going to give away your DVD.
My soul.
Your soul.
My soul.
Yeah, that comes later. We'll do the DVD first. So
Yes.
were there any? Because is there any questions out of what you were asked that you liked, or you can just sift through and pick one at random?
Yeah, so you keep them busy.
And then that way,
Is it one that we've answered, or?
it's completely up to you. So all the questions have come in here. So thank you for taking part in this, guys, and joining us. I believe Pete will be back with me next week as well on the live, and we will have a vlog on Friday. If you missed the last vlog, check it out. We had a great discussion on card to wallet. I showed you a couple, a palm and a no palm version, which are recommended. And Andy showed some stuff as well from Caleb Wiles' new DVD. So
Great.
Yeah.
Great DVD, man.
and that is available now. It's on our site on the vlog section, so check that out. We put vlogs up every Friday. We're here every Tuesday live for an hour or so, and then between that are our academies. And tonight is Daniel Child's Academy. Tomorrow night it's the football. It's coming home.
It's coming home.
It's coming.
Football. we think it.
We hope so.
We're optimistic.
Did you pick someone?
Was I supposed to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you were.
No, I did, yeah. I think Rick Weston.
Rick
Rick Weston's had some good questions. So Rick Weston, this is yours. It's on its way to you.
There you go, Rick.
Flying into your DMs. Sliding? Flying? Whatever. I don't know. It's internet slang.
Rick, you know what you need to do. Sales at alakazam.co.uk, and Andy will get that out to you as soon as possible while we're here as well. It's only fair that I give away a deck of elites, so we will do that as well, and I'll get you to pick. Just look for a random name this time. So
A
whoever
random name.
you want. You don't know any of our customer names, so it's fair for you to do it.
True. I just stopped on that one. So Roger Thompson.
Roger Thompson.
You win some elites, dude.
There you go, mate.
Slide it into your post box.
Probably posted in.
Posted like it might go like this in a jiffy bag to protect said cards.
You know what to do as well. Sales at alakazam.co.uk. I'm gutted I'm going to be missing tonight's course.
He's really not.
I am genuinely gutted. But do you know what the good thing is?
You can watch it on repeat.
Yes, I can.
There we go, Dave. Yes, you can.
And I won't. But no, I definitely will. I definitely
Thanks
will.
a lot, Dave. Appreciate that.
No, I definitely will. And guys, join him tonight. Alakazam.co.uk, and then the section where it is the Academy.
Yes.
Give you all the information, but we're going to finish with a little trailer you did just explaining the sort of stuff.
Sure, yeah.
So we're going to go to that. Thank you so much for joining us, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Hey guys, Daniel Chard here. I'm super excited to share with you my first Alakazam live called Hard Hitters. So on this project, I'm going to share with you a range of material from my professional working repertoire, both on stage and up close. We're going to go in depth and learn every nuance and subtlety in my new card under box routine, which has received a lot of praise from magicians around the world. We're going to learn an effect which has been a hit at my lectures, which is called In the Frame, which is a DVD effect where you produce the wrong film and then visually change the cover into one that the spectator is merely thinking of. And the best bit, it instantly resets. We're going to share with you my effect, Magicians Against Humanity, which is a do as I do with jokes and punchlines, which is extremely well received on stage, and it's very, very powerful and funny. All of the material has been selected to be extremely easy, or at least within the reach of the beginner to intermediate. Like I said, there's a lot of variety of material using post-it notes, playing cards and DVDs, mentalism, stage routines and close-up. All in all, there is something for everyone. So do yourself a favor, pick up this live, and over the next 2 to 3 hours, I look forward to sharing some hard, impactful magic and also some of my visual card work, which you've expected from me. So I look forward to seeing you there, guys. See you soon.